Ladies and gentlemen, your next presenter has been on the Sunshine Coast for a long time. She's a Kiwi. Yeah, I'm sorry. So, Aotearoa. Aotearoa. Hello. Good to see you. Yvette, though, has spent a lot of time working in the digital space. Now, she was ahead of her time when she started things off many years ago. You may know of her business known as the Creative Collective. Now, it is a difficult space nowadays to get started in, but Yvette was one of the pioneers, and as a young person herself, started a business at 17 years of age in the radio, in the media with a newspaper. She runs a Young Entrepreneurs TV show now, so if there's anyone out there who would like to get themselves on TV, and I think I met a couple of people in the break who are inquiring and interested in media and how to do exactly that. So make sure you find Yvette as well after her presentation. But a massive achievement in Yvette's world now is that she's been selected by one of 8 people only to be an official Facebook trainer, which is huge. You may have heard of Facebook. It does something on the internet, apparently. But if you don't know much about it, someone who will fill you in with all the details around the Book of Face and the Instaweb gram thing, which is amazing in lots of different social media contexts. I think it's Flapchat is another thing that's become popular, and LinkedIn, which I can only assume is a tattoo website. But in any event, to fill in the details around these social media platforms and indeed the world of digitech, ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Yvette Adams. No.
Just shout.
Thank you. I don't like lecterns because I'm all of 5'2" and you wouldn't see me, so that's a bit of a problem. I always go for these. Thank you for having me today, and I'm really pleased to see so many young people here because knowing marketing, I know how hard it is to engage with young people because you're often on Snapchat. Who here uses Snapchat? Yeah. And apart from that, infiltrating schools and getting messages to you is very difficult, and they have so many messages they need to get out to you. So well done, the organisers and everyone who promoted this event. Let's have a round of applause for all of them. Or else you wouldn't know about it and you wouldn't be here. So I was really pleased to see this morning's sessions were very interactive because mine's not. So you're going to chill for a bit. Does that sound good to some of you? Been very moving and very heart-centered stuff, which is great and I love it. We're going to move into the head now and do some thinking. So I'd like to talk to you today about the entrepreneurial mindset. Who here thinks they might just be an entrepreneur in the making? Some of us? I love that some of you already know because nobody ever said to me when I was your age, you might be an entrepreneur. I was a kid who got in trouble at school sometimes. Anyone else here get in trouble at school sometimes? Anyone here been suspended at school before? Me too. So I used to get kicked out of class and get sent to the older kids' class because they thought that would make me behave, but my boyfriend was in that class and they were all my mates, so I played up even more. But I wasn't stimulated enough, I wasn't academic enough, and I never realised, but I wanted to do my own thing because I was my own person with my own ideas. So if that's sounding a little bit like you, there's quite a high chance you might be a bit of an entrepreneur already. And if it's not you, I just want to talk to you about the entrepreneurial mindset because I think that whatever you do, having a bit of an entrepreneurial mindset is a pretty great life skill to have because you can figure things out and make things happen. So let's talk a bit about that. So I believe that entrepreneurs look at the world a bit differently, which is sort of what I was getting at just before. I've got visuals up and I am going to go fast, and yes, I'm a Kiwi, but you can all understand me, right? Don't need a translator? You good? I have been here 15 years and I'm actually an Australian citizen these days. So, my entrepreneurial journey. Anyone know that first building on the left there? Where is that? Wellington. Good work. Some people go Auckland, but no, that's Dorkland we say. So that is where I started a newspaper. I'll tell you about that because you're of this age where you might be saying, I do want to start my own business, I do want to be an entrepreneur, but I might have to wait till I'm much older to do that. That is absolute BS. So So, but I didn't believe it at the time either. Here I was at high school, and the only thing I was kind of good at was writing. I wasn't good at maths either, but I really liked sports. Anyone here a bit of a sports nut?
Yeah.
Yep. So I was an elite athlete. Water polo was my sport. I used to get up at 5 a.m. and swim train like a girl. My table was a swimmer as well, so we had that in common, one of the young ones. And I love reading about what other people were doing in sport. So I had this harebrained idea to start a newspaper, and I started putting it together, and what I got really excited about was the fact that I could sell ads and make money. Who here as a teenager wants more money? Yeah.
Not a teenager.
Everyone wants more money. Cool. So that was my main motivation. Get money to pay for unfunded sport, water polo, to go on cool trips with my mates. That was my motivation. So I started this newspaper, and I landed Pepsi, still around today, as a major sponsor, and I thought $200 for a full-page ad from them was fantastic. Looking back, I seriously undercharged, but I didn't know any better. $200 was $200, which back then was great. So I put out my first newspaper. I had my little red mini, age 17, and I dropped off piles of newspapers to all the schools in my hometown of Wellington, and the kids just loved it. They're going, oh, there's such and such, and they loved the fact that my mates, other young people, had written it. And then after just the first issue, a guy calls me up, and he was American, so I'm going to do a really bad American accent right now. He goes, "You've stolen my idea." And he was super pissed off with me. And I said, "What? Who? How can I have stolen your idea? I don't even know who you are." And he said, "I was going to put out a secondary school sports newspaper, and you've gazumped me, and I'm not happy." And he said, "Come for a meeting." And I went to this meeting in a boardroom at age 17, and I didn't know what to do. I took my dad, who was a teacher, he didn't know anything about business, and I cut my first business deal, age 17. Really bad business deal. The deal was, you get to work here and get $200 a week, which I was getting for one ad, but every single week, and I'll run the newspaper, which at the time I was training like a maniac, trying to do my school, all this sort of stuff. I went, that actually sounds really good if I don't have to do everything, and I just get to write articles and get $200 a week. So I took the deal. It ended up being a really bad deal, and the reason why was because our values didn't align. So there's a tip. If you're going to collaborate, you've got to work out, are we alike? Do we have the same goals in common? So I did it for a year, and I quit that. And that was my first business lesson. I met a guy in Silicon Valley years later, and he gave me some great business advice. He said, businesses are a lot like pancakes. You stuff the first one up. So be comfortable with failure too, and I thought, yep, that newspaper was my first pancake, and it's done now. So my journey, my entrepreneurial journey, then took me to London, where I worked in mainly media for 7 years, and I had my first son. He was born directly opposite Big Ben. So when I was really delighted giving birth to this 10-pound baby, I heard the ding-dong of Big Ben and remembered where I was, because I was seriously losing it. It was, not a great experience. But a wonderful baby came out of it who's now 15 years old. Over there though, the entrepreneurial thing was happening, so I also want to say, I did have a career in the media, but the entrepreneurial thing, it was still there obviously, I just didn't know what it was. And I had another idea, just like some other people have mentioned, it just takes an idea, to start an online t-shirt business. So again, I didn't realise it at the time, but as Sam says, I kind of was a little ahead of my time. I whacked up a website, taught myself HTML. I look back and it was really simple. White page, logo, some t-shirt products on there, which I bet who cared could actually knock up a website. Those are becoming really commonplace skills at school, which is awesome. Good on you. So, and then I whacked on PayPal, you're all familiar with PayPal, and said to people, buy my t-shirts. And because I was a bit of a pioneer, do you know what people said to me? What? Put my credit card online? No way, that's so dangerous. Because it was 02. But now who here uses PayPal and buys stuff online?
All business.
Everybody. So I did that, and zero capital. I want you to know that too. That means no money, okay? I had no money to start this t-shirt business, so I'd saved some money working. I got some t-shirts made. I knocked out my website, and then whatever I made, I reinvested. And that's called bootstrapping. That's a style of starting a business, okay? And 4 years later, I decided I didn't want to do it anymore, which is okay. You're allowed to change your mind. And I decided to sell my business, and I sold that business for 5 figures. Who here would like to start a business with nothing and sell it for 5 figures? It's pretty cool, right? So you can do that. and I got bored of it. If you get bored of something, change is my message there. So I've now started a third, fourth, fifth and sixth business. I've even purchased businesses as recently as 2017. And I joke to people, I went from the Big Ben to the Big Pineapple, and I've called the Sunshine Coast home since '04 now, and been raising children. My big message for you today is you create your own opportunities. I don't know, but I feel like sometimes people out there say you just go to school, you get good grades, you go to university or TAFE, you get good grades, and then it's all going to open up for you. I don't know if I personally believe that. Everything that's happened for me, I've kind of engineered myself. So I want to give you that message that you might have to create your own opportunities along the way, and you can. Here's some opportunities I've created along the way. I love to travel. I've probably travelled 60 countries, and this is a picture of me in Italy, aged about 26, chilling, reading a book with some very daggy now sunglasses, I realise. And was it this trip or another one? I got a fully funded year around the world trip paid for. Who would like that? Who would like to engineer an opportunity like that?
Yes, please.
I did that at age 26. How did I do that? So I was basically a travel blogger before blogging was a thing in '02. How I did that was I was working at a magazine and I saw that STA Travel, do you guys know that company? They had someone on their website blogging about their travel, but I could tell they were a travel agent. It was really boring what they were writing. I went to the Leaning Tower of Pisa and I had a piece of pizza and a red wine. I went, boring. How did you feel? Who did you meet? What did you see? What did that do for you? How did that change the way you think? That's what I'm interested in. So I went to their direct competitor, who was then, they're not around anymore, was called USIP Campus, and I pitched at them. And I said, I'm your demographic, I'm a writer, I can do a better job than your competitors are doing on this blog. Give me a ticket and a camera, and I'll travel for a year and supply you content. Took 3 meetings, and they gave me that. Can happen, you can create your own opportunities. Entrepreneurial Journey. So this is where I started my business, Maroochydore, this very suburb. I don't speak very locally very often, and it's a joy to get up in my own bed and come down here and go home in 10 minutes with no traffic. That's really cool, because I do travel a bit to do what I do. I want to show you my humble beginnings and what business can look like if you do decide to create your own business, because this was the Creative Collective. This is my desk. That sign back there laminated with a logo, that means we're in business. I had a business card, really in business. I made a website, so serious now, wow. And that's my chief of staff, creative director, very creative. She pulled all my files out, she'd scribble crayons all over my important paperwork. And it was just me and her to start with. So I started the business when she was 7 weeks old, and I started it because I needed money, again, we kind of all need that to keep going. And I wanted to work too. I didn't want to just be a mum. I wanted to keep my entrepreneurial thing going. So my bell's already gone, so I'm going to go through these quick. Within 6 months, I entered a business award, won Young Entrepreneur for Queensland at the Small Business Champion Awards. So 6 months in, enter awards is a tip. I then got put on TV. It went on Qantas, Channel 9, Vodafone's website. Phone started ringing, business started going crazy. I went, geez, these business awards are pretty good stuff. I might enter some big ones. So I entered an international business awards, and that's me in New York, just being a finalist. But there, I met a guy, he said, you want to promote it? Again, bad American accent. You want to promote it down under, as they say? I said, all right. So for the last 10 years, I've been promoting the International Business Awards in Australia, and I've just stopped that role, but I've been doing it for 10 years, and through that, met some amazing people. This is me winning a Telstra Award in Queensland. Vicky was there. Wasn't that a cool day? I took 2 tables of Sunny Coasters down and they cheered and were loud, and I was absolutely blown away that I won it, because I was, I don't know, 3 years into business, running it from home. The garage we'd moved into because we had a few staff, and not a massive turnover, but I want to keep reminding you, you don't have to be doing enormous things and saying I'm not quite there yet to go for these opportunities. Off that, I got to meet some people from Commonwealth Bank. They said, we're going to Silicon Valley. I went to Facebook, LinkedIn, and yes, they have free food at all the Facebook offices, and I've been there a bit and put on some weight lately because they have really yummy food. And this is a Facebook courtyard. They're cool places to work. They let you take the dog to work. They have tree houses. That was fun. Nowadays, I get to do cool stuff like speak for Google and recently speak for Facebook. So I'm about to go on tour with them end of the month, 5 regional centres around Australia, and hopefully a whole lot more. They're really cool to work with. I better wrap up because the bell's going. The Young Entrepreneur Show, if any of you run a business and want to talk to me about it, come up and see me after. And thank you for having me.